Welcome back. This is Rafael from the Chairman and the Artist. Waka's hanging out today. We're gonna cover the struggles of life today. We're gonna cover. He's going through issues right now with his bank. His bank is being withdrawn for his gym membership, and he doesn't know how to cancel it. He's trying to cancel it, but they're making it hard on homie. The place says they can't find his account. The bank has no problem finding the money coming out. That's shitty, man. I've been in situations like that, or I've seen people been in situations like that where you sign up for a membership at a gym or something like that, and even after you cancel the gym membership, they decide, hey, let's keep taking money out of this bank account.
You'll never know.
Yeah, you'll never know until everybody knows, unless you don't keep track of your bank account. But yeah, that kind of sucks, man. I feel bad for you right now, Vato. Hopefully you can solve that problem. You might even go in there and call them from in there, from their bank, from their stuff, so they can say, hey, look, I'm talking from your bank, so one of your representatives is right here with me. It's not like I'm trying to pull fraud. I just don't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
And right now they go ahead and identify everything through apps or emails. That's second step verification.
Or the cell phone that you're calling them from, and
you got to use the same cell phone. As soon as you use somebody else's cell phone, they can easily read. Oh, that's not the phone that belongs to that. That's the first red flag that comes up. But oh well, I'm pretty sure you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
On today's episode, let's see, what should we talk about today? Because we had a guest, but they canceled. So I wonder if other podcasts go through the same situation, last minute cancellation from their guests. This week we had 2 cancellations already, man.
Yep.
One of them overslept.
3.
Oh yeah, huh? Fucking the other homie. Out of 5 people that we set up for our podcast, 3 of them canceled. We got 2 of them. No, what the fuck? We only got 1, huh?
Yeah.
We only got 1 so far. And luckily, that was the last minute notice that I called homie, hey, you want to be on the podcast today? And he's like, how about tomorrow? I said, yeah, come over tomorrow. I got time. But if it wasn't for me calling him, we'd be still sticking our finger up our nose.
I think those are the best ones. The ones that are just kind of on the move, on the whim.
Yeah. So this thing is, maybe we can get some more people joining our podcast. You can send us a message. You can send me a direct message through Instagram, through Facebook. You can contact Waka if you know how to get a hold of him. Send him a smoke signal, because this fucker doesn't have a phone. Well, not a phone is because you're almost like you know.
I learned that from you, though. Just to let you know.
No, but I didn't like the phone because that motherfucking thing is a tracking device. Especially back in the day, I really hated the phone. It's one of the biggest tracking devices that, if anybody wants to backtrack what kind of criminal activity you've been up to, or where you've been at, or your Google Maps, even though you shut off your Google Maps, Google is tracking your cell phone everywhere.
Yep.
And there is a way that you can go on there and you can actually track where you've been, every fucking direction, every place you stopped.
It records your noise too?
Oh fuck yeah, they're recording us.
They're recording, huh?
Yeah,
on your phone, even if it's
it's being recorded, and it's not triggered until you start talking something crazy, something conspiracy, or something that
drugs, murder. Yeah, then it sends a little red light to
or you start talking about buying certain chemicals to develop a bomb or something like that. They're gonna be listening,
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden you're over here talking to your partner of your conspiracies to do something bad to the government, or something bad to somebody else or whatever, all that shit is being recorded, whether you like it or not.
Don't do it.
We may not think that, oh, the phone is in our pocket.
It's turned off.
It's turned off, but the mics and everything are turned on.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that time when we were driving on Highway 50, and all suddenly the fucking phone woke up, and we didn't wake it up. We weren't even doing Google Maps or anything, but that phone woke up and say, hey, you're going the wrong way, and don't go that way, don't go that way. And it's like, I kept turning up the map, but the fucking phone kept turning back on and interfering with us. So I'm pretty sure if anybody's got a phone out here in the world, everybody and anybody's being tracked, and everybody is being recorded, but there's certain words that you may mention or this or that that'll probably trigger Mr. Computer. Hey, let's put a red flag on that guy, and let's put a little red dot.
Let's see where he goes.
And see if these fuckers are just talking shit or see if they keep, and also, your online orders, everything you order or everything you go buy, it's all being tracked. Even if you think you're paying cash, the seller is tracking it.
Yeah.
The seller is saying, hey, we sold this amount of this chemical or that chemical or this or that to that person. You think you can go buy a chemical to kill the wife or somebody and do some poisoning or something like that, thinking, oh yeah, I can just go get this, and there will be a receipt. Everybody's keeping track. I mean, the best way I think not to be tracked is don't carry a cell phone, but everybody around you has a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a cell phone, you got to travel with this guy or that guy. Your Uber guy is going to have a cell phone.
What happened to payphones, though? How come they took them off? Why do you think they took them off?
Why? Because payphones were used back in the day as a way to communicate, and you couldn't tell who used it or who did it. Now you can track the person. Like organizations, mafia, as we can say, they were using the payphone back in the day. Hey, call me on this phone, the corner phone or whatever, and the person will call, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, even if they were tracking that payphone, oh yeah, they have to have somebody there looking with binoculars and saying, hey, this is a guy that we should be talking to. But because it's a payphone, anybody can answer it. You're walking and this and that, and so I think that's the reason they got rid of the payphone. And right now, whether we like it or not, we all signed up for this microchip up our ass, which is a cell phone. People are all concerned, oh, they're trying to control us, they're trying to do this, but everybody's got a cell phone. If you don't have a cell phone,
yeah,
not knowing that cell phone is your number one fucking
that's the biggest spy.
Yeah, and your lady can spy on you. You can spy on your lady. You can, if you can put tracking devices on it. You can put tracking.
Where were you?
Right now
I called you.
People use cell phones as a way to track somebody, like without they used to use in a way, an old school way.
Yeah, what is that?
They used to tape a cell phone under your car or whatever, and then track that cell phone.
Now you got ID tags and all that.
Oh yeah, you got all kinds of little tiny things that they can put in your car and fucking track you. If you're not computer savvy, if you don't know if you're not watching, all the gadgets that are coming out when it comes to tracking devices and shit like that, listening devices.
Well, you got to share your location too with your loved ones.
Fuck anything that you look up. Oh, you want to go to a restaurant? You want right away. I need your location.
Mm-hmm.
I need your location. I can't give you the map without the location.
Not only that, I've seen I don't know, right? But I've seen moms keep track of their kids through their phone. Like, I know exactly where he's at.
You can keep track of the kids. You can keep track,
of your husband.
Your kids, and I wonder how, I wonder if that also keeps people from kidnapping kids, because I see kids with their cell phone not paying attention to their surroundings and shit.
The fucking traffic.
They're crossing the street. Like I used to drop off my kid at the college, and this is not little kids. This is college students, and they just fucking crossing the street without even fucking looking whether the red light or green light is on. They're just crossing the street looking at their cell phone.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. Their cell phone is everything. They can be running into a train and they just, that cell phone is so captivating and shit like that. It's a double-sided sword.
Yeah.
It's a sword that can keep you safe. It's a sword that, if you're into trouble, hey, so,
need help.
You can easily go live on Facebook or this and say, hey, this person over here has been following me and this and that. I want people to know, so you can use it in a good way if you're a smart person, a smart kid. But but as soon as you lose that phone and shit like that, you're not being tracked. But fuck, every other house right now has cameras. Every other house has Ring, and a lot of us, believe it or not, like that Ring camera, you have an option to put that to the police station. You have an option to say, hey, I'm gonna have the police be able to look up my video and this and that, not knowing that could turn against you later and this and that. But a lot of people they think they'll never commit a crime and this and that, they allow that footage for the police officers to use it without even a warrant and stuff like that. So the officers, though they need to track somebody, something that happened in a certain neighborhood or whatever, all they need to do is find 2 or 3 houses that are connected to the police station, and they have footage of who went by there, how many cars. Once they figure out, okay, we have
this car go by,
we have 20 cars that went by at that hour, and
we're looking for the red one.
They're going to investigate all 20 of them. Where did this one go? Where did that one go? Where did this one go? And the one that's out of place or this or that, then they start narrowing it down, and then they can go track them. But right now we live in surveillance world where we're heavily surveillance by cameras. Even my computer right now being on, we're just recording this and that, but I'm pretty sure the government has access to our cameras. They've been watching me jerk off here and there once in a while.
Yeah, totally.
If they want to use that against me in a jerk off court of law or something like that, sir, we have evidence here that you've been choking the monkey for the past 10 years, and you also have a certain time of the day that you do it.
And you put a blindfold over yourself.
There's no more privacy. There's no more privacy in this world, If you really want to be private, you may want to make sure you want to put a big old black tape in front of that camera. But the sound is being recorded,
Yeah.
So all that shit is,
They say the guy from Facebook would do that on his laptop. He would put a little piece of sticker on his camera.
That's kind of like the only. But your voice the sound is still being recorded.
Yeah.
And this and that, I mean, if the deep state is really after you, or they really if they want to investigate you, it doesn't take no more than fucking 10 clicks probably for a motherfucker to get into the system and find out this and that,
Yeah.
And then the average motherfucker, who doesn't have an Instagram? Who doesn't have a Facebook? Who doesn't have TikTok? We get into all these programs. Like right now, everybody's talking about AI. Oh, AI can create your face, a deep fake of this and that. As soon as you do that fucking face identification with your iPhone, you're giving them your face. You're giving them all your stuff. If your iPhone can recognize you, so now
they can recognize you anywhere.
Now they have your face. Now they can use your face for AI and this and that. I'm pretty sure Apple has no problem getting rid of, using your, selling your data. And if it's not Apple, you got Google. Yeah. Google's got their phones. Almost everything is face recognition.
The banks.
And then you got Instagram, Snapchat. Snapchat, if you want to do all those cute little faces and all that shit.
The filters.
The filters. That's a way to record your face. And, I remember when we watched, me and Aaron, a long time ago, we watched, there was a movie, I think it was, in the future where they can detect that you're gonna commit a crime before you even commit a crime, and then they go and arrest you before you even go and commit a crime. They already have it that you're gonna commit a murder or whatever. So they arrest you before. I think Tom Cruise was in it, or one of those famous guys. But you could see people walking in the mall, and everybody, you were paying with your face. Oh, hello, John. And as soon as you walked into Macy's, or we walked into any, the computer would greet you, or the robot would greet you, or whatever, and recognize who you are. You know, I see you lost a little weight, Baka. You know, they would make a little comment or this or that. But you know, you're being tracked everywhere and anywhere. You know,
well, I think it's headed to
we already live there.
Where we won't be able to use cash.
Well, cash is fucking weird now because there are a lot of people that they don't take cash in some places and this and that.
They don't take $100 bills.
Oh, dude! One time I was shipping the chairs to Florida, and I was using cash to pay for my to ship my stuff at UPS.
Yeah.
And then I went to the other place, FedEx, and then I felt something kind of weird that day, like somebody was watching me or this and that, and I struggled so much to get the tape just so I could ship this fucking chair to Florida.
Oh yeah, I remember
and
you told me.
Next thing you know, I was on my way to go ship it now. Now I had it all boxed up. I spent the last $11 on fucking tape. And then I get pulled over. Bro, I mean, they rush me from all sides. Next thing you know, I'm like, what the fuck? And we need to open up your boxes. We want to see what's in there. Are you fucking serious? Tattoo chairs. Oh no, we have reasons to believe that you've been trafficking drugs to Florida. You know, because I didn't know how to do the shipping through. So I was kind of doing a little bit of shady stuff through the website, but I didn't know how to ship a second package without being charged. So I was trying to figure it out, and sometimes I was kind of using my credit card to pay for a separate package, and they thought I was sending marijuana to Florida. This is right after I had opened, and I didn't know. And my website was telling me too, was sending me emails. Hey, there's some shady shit going on with you. You're under investigation. And I'm like, what the fuck? Never mind, that shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. Next thing you know, I'm being rushed by cops all around. There's actually Mr. Chopper above me.
Holy
and I
shit.
had the feeling like somebody was fucking following me. And they opened up my boxes, they tore up my boxes, and they found out, yeah, it's chairs. I got the top and the base chair and this and that. And I recognized two officers from earlier that day. And they were kind of laughing that they knew they fucked up. And they came up to me and they said, the reason we started tracking you is because you're using cash. And I'm like, really? What's so illegal about using cash? Well, people don't use cash anymore. They use credit cards, this and that. Why are you using cash to ship stuff? Because I fucking got no money in the bank and I just barely got paid. I'm a tattoo artist and I got paid with cash. What's the issue? And the officer, oh, you raised a big red flag since you've been paying cash at UPS and this and that. And also you've been sending a lot of packages to Florida. So we were thinking that you were trafficking. And just based on...
Sorry.
Just based on... And I'm like, where am I going to get the next $11 to tape this shit up
What
again?
about my boxes?
They actually had me take out everything out of the boxes. Luckily, they didn't start ripping off the upholstery and, trying to see that there was something in the upholstery because I pay hella money for my upholstery. Oh, man.
Shout out to Gilbert for the upholstery.
Yeah, Valdez Upholstery, Armor and Gentry. Those are the guys that do my upholstery, Gilbert. But dude, it was fucking. I was like
scary. Shit your pants.
I was struggling so much to get this chair on time, and this chair's got a story, man. And I came home terrified. Like, what the fuck, man?
Hell, I bet you came home.
And then I got on my website and started asking people, hey, how do I create a shipping label for a second box, and then everybody told me, hey, you can do it this way, you can do it that way, and the community of the Shopify helped me out. But right now, you got your online store. You can see when
Graffiti City,
Graffiti City MV, but you can see when there's when it gives you a fraud. Hey, this order could be fraud, and this and that. It gives you an alert.
Yeah.
And then you look down the information. Oh, so and so was trying to use this credit card. So and so doesn't live there. So and so tried again this other credit card. So and so finally got through with this credit card, but it's shipping it to a different address. Red alert! Red alert! Don't take this fucking order. So the world is so connected by computer and this and that. And we're identified easily.
Yeah.
As soon as you fuck up, the first thing they're gonna go after is your social media, Facebook. We want to know all his friends, so we can talk to all his friends and find out what kind of stuff. They're gonna get all your fucking texting or whatever the fuck you've been posting or who you've been talking.
Yeah.
So all that is gonna be used against you or for you, one of the two. It may clear you or may fuck you up. They're gonna look in your Instagram too, and then they're gonna look into, hey, this motherfucker, apparently he was trafficking diamonds, or this guy was selling fake rocks to other kids, or shit like that.
Now they want you to use your real name for everything. For like, if you want to open up a Facebook account or
Facebook, I had to send them. They were threatening to shut down my Facebook, so I had to send them my passport, my ID, everything. I mean, Facebook has got everything, and for whatever they want,
Yep.
And like, it's weird because I run ads through Instagram, and I pay my ads, but apparently Facebook is also hooked up with Instagram. Facebook charges me $3 more, $4 more here and there for an ad that it's like, what the fuck? Why are you guys charging me this money? And there's no way I'm gonna fucking fight them or stress my time and trying to get $4 back and shit like that. But apparently, they got a way to figure it out. Hey, even though I have a cap on that ad, hey, I'm only spending $30. By the time I've run the ad, I spend my $30, and Facebook charges me another $10, $20. Apple's charging me $15 just to transfer money from my Apple account to Instagram.
God damn.
$15. If I transfer $30, I have to pay $50. 12%. So fucking another $15 to transfer $30. And it's like, holy shit, how do I fucking avoid this? Oh no, and they won't take your payment through the credit card now. It has to go through PayPal. It has to go through PayPal.
You gotta avoid it by going to Portugal.
Through Apple. Like, everybody's creating their own banks. The banks right now should be fucking
Shopify.
Shopify has got their own bank. PayPal is kind of like its own bank thing.
Yep.
You got also
Apple.
Apple's got its own bank. You don't have to transfer the money to the bank. You can just keep it in Apple.
You could just get paid there, and then that's it.
It's fucking trippy, I don't know how the banks are gonna deal with it later, but it looks like a lot of these companies can take the money away from the banks, so keep them from going to the banks.
Yep.
And shit like that, So yeah, fucking welcome to the world of technology and the world of AI and shit like that. We did think there was a time me and Kelly a long time ago, we were like, dude, in the future, there's not gonna be no cash. We're gonna be getting paid by credits like a fucking video game.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all that your bank account is. Just fucking credits. It's credits in the form of money, but it's credits.
Just numbers. I used to say that to people, to my kids, and like, it's not real. It's just numbers. You could get more numbers later.
But yeah, it is fucking trippy how, if people think that you're not being tracked or you're not being, we're on camera probably 80% of the day. 80% of the day we're in somebody's camera, somebody's footage. You know, if you work in a location, most likely your location has hella cameras. If you work in a restaurant, a store, or anything, there's cameras, surveillance like a motherfucker there.
Yeah.
On your way to work, you're gonna be recorded through all kinds of traffic lights. Traffic lights, they're all over the city. You got the traffic lights, you got the weather cameras. You know, you got everybody's got a fucking camera on their dashboard nowadays. You know, so you're being recorded left and right. So if you're gonna commit a crime or do some kind of a criminal activity, you gotta be pretty fucking smart, and also really technical on your computers and this and that, and you gotta cover your face. You gotta
with another face.
With another face, and,
yeah,
and how the fuck are you gonna get the other vehicle? Because the vehicle is gonna be tracked too.
The vehicle,
and this and that. So, you know, you got to be one hell of a smart criminal nowadays, you know. And the smart criminals are using what? Now they're using computers to commit the crimes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're really using, the computers. Like I was watching this AI shit where they gave this guy an award for a fucking painting that he used AI to create it. What a piece of shit. What a fucking dumb motherfucker, in my fucking opinion. Because when I create shit on AI, I can't fucking take credit for a fucking computer design. I feel weird. You know, even if I pay for the fucking program, I still feel weird. Like, no, I didn't create that. You know, that's just me putting fucking information into the computer.
Yeah.
And then the real lady that created the picture, she noticed that this motherfucker is getting awards in this other country for supposedly a painting that was done by AI. You know, and this is what we're rewarding right now in the art world. We're not rewarding the hands-on shit. We're rewarding the manipulators of art. There's another guy that won an award for the best photography, and then when he came up he says, "Oh, this is AI. This is not even me. I just want to show you guys how fake this shit is, and how this shit is so good that it can even fake the real fucking people that supposedly know about photography."
Yeah.
And he wanted to prove the dangers of AI when it comes to stealing art. Right now, the art industry, we're in a bad situation. We're struggling.
Yeah.
Our shit is
designers.
getting destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
our shit
done.
is getting destroyed. You know.
Yeah, t-shirt designers, all that shit that used to.
No, a lot of these guys are doing AI books. They're doing all this guys. You know, I go on YouTube videos about AI. Half of the people are all for AI and shit like that, and they're showing you how to manipulate the system and make money and take credit for something that you didn't fucking even do. But that's what it is. You know, they have in a way no morals, and the people that are really doing art, their shit is being destroyed and taken. And of course, what do you do with the art? You want to show the world.
Yeah, you got to put it out.
You got to put it out. You got to put it out. You know, a lot of us put it out on this, and that, thinking that these programs were going to protect us or this and that.
I just got to put my watermark on it.
Oh, the watermark ain't shit no more, you know. The watermark ain't shit no more. I don't know if fucking Adobe is even protecting AI. I mean, protecting people. You know, because when you go on Adobe, you have an area where you can register your copyrights. So everything you create to your Adobe programs are actually right away copyrighted to your name and shit like that, and
to
you
your
have copyrights
files and everything,
and shit like that. But I don't think that shit is being respected right now.
I think Photoshop doesn't allow AI stuff to get uploaded, right? Like,
yeah, I try to fuck with it. I try to grab some AI shit
download a
so I
picture
can go in
into
there and manipulate it and do some stuff. And Adobe said, "Fuck no!" They just give you a big grainy thing. A lot of Google shit you can't put stuff from Google right into Photoshop. It has a way to say, no, we're not gonna do this.
Recognize it.
But I don't think AI has any fucking morals. AI is a fucking just trying to serve the
master.
Yeah, the master, the human.
Yeah.
and doesn't recognize that it's fucking. And also AI can say, no, I grab a little bit from this one, I grabbed a little bit from that one, so there's no copyright infringements. You know, it is fucking trippy what AI is doing to the world.
Yeah,
For me, it's kind of cool. I think because I think it took me out of that common name shit. I'm not running into even when I got arrested the last time. The lady said, "I didn't, sir. Remember when I told her, hey,
yeah,
I'm gonna come up
I'm
as
a criminal." No, you said I'm a criminal.
I was trying to say,
Ralph.
I was trying to say I'm gonna pop up as a criminal, but you
didn't say that. You just said I'm a criminal.
I was tired, fucker. I was tired. Okay.
Did you see the lights? I was looking at the lights, officer.
That's what set it off at the end. All right, I had enough of you.
Right.
But
these jokesters.
But yeah, I think it doesn't put me in the mix with all the other stuff. But there was a lot of confusion. The computers, they were going by certain numbers, certain dates, and shit like that. And then they would put me in the mix where I was a common name, and next thing you know, I had all kinds of problems. I like telling people I'm wanted in 50 states, motherfuckers. That's who I am. They're like, what? What do you mean you wanted in 50 states? Apparently, I don't even know. I'm driving through this state, and I may have a fucking suspended license in that state.
A warrant.
A warrant or something, and it's not even me. It's somebody else. Until they fingerprint me, and then they let me go.
Do not name your kids Rafael Reyes.
Yeah, or Joe Smith. It's a shitty ass name, bro. I mean, it's so fucked up. I have struggled with this fucking common name shit. But maybe AI will help me now, or maybe AI will fucking make it worse for me. But right now, AI is really fucking up the whole writing world. It's fucking up the movie world.
The art industry.
The art industry.
Everything, man.
Yeah.
But it's also helping us. It's helping us, and like I'm able to get contracts signed right away. It used to take me weeks to get someone to sign a contract. Well, especially because
AI is making you look intelligent, fucker.
Yeah.
When people read your letters and this and that, they think you're writing them and this and that. Some of these people don't think that AI is doing it, and you grab AI and you get a message from one of your clients. Hey, I want this mural, this and that. Then you put it on fucking, hey, respond to this message with AI and make it sound very professional, and let them know I'll be there tomorrow, or we can set up a date. And then AI writes it in a nice professional way within minutes that the client doesn't even understand how you wrote this whole fucking paragraph.
Yeah.
They think you're over there just texting away like a motherfucker.
He's so smart.
He's so smart.
He's so creative.
Yeah. And it's a double-sided sword, bro.
Yeah.
It's a double-sided sword.
Yeah, because now I show clients, and it's like, oh, it's super easy. Look, we'll do this, and we'll get your design going. And they're like, whoa. Okay, well, can you make me 5 more of those? It's like, fuck. Yeah. Like, lady, this is the best one.
But it's so cool
to see more.
to get a visual for these people.
Yeah.
And back in no more than a couple of years ago, you would have to go through Google and find something to use from this one and that one. And AI is not just stealing from these professional artists. They're stealing from everyday artists. Every other kid is posting their latest pictures, their latest art. Every other motherfucker is, taking a picture of their latest paintings and showing it to their brother, their cousin, not knowing that AI is grabbing it.
It's just stealing.
You should watch this fucking episode with me, because it shows the web crawlers. I don't know if I ever tried to explain to you the web crawlers. Web crawlers, the best way I can explain it, which in this video they kind of show it. The best way I can explain it is like spiders. And web crawlers either do it a nightly check, or once a week, or once a month, or whatever. But imagine at midnight, every night, every fucking website gives the information to this big old computer. Every fucking image that you loaded, every text, everything that you talked, gives it to this computer. And then this computer has, you know, all your verbiage, everything. And every night or at 12 o'clock, they come in and grab the web crawlers, or they're set up once a week. I really don't know exactly how often they come. But the web crawlers, imagine spiders coming into your computer and grabbing up all the little bits and then sending them back to the thing. And it doesn't matter whether you have Norton or like SVPN and all that shit, they can still fucking grab it. You know, a lot of people, oh, if you sign up with this, you know, your data is safe. Yeah, your data is safe with them, but they have the data later that they can still fucking turn in. Yeah. Or the web crawlers are going to go into that fucking system.
We just found out that there's backdoors to a lot of these.
Yeah. All websites, they have websites for authority to be able to go in.
Yeah.
You know? And
we were watching that Joe Rogan one that they were talking about the.
Yeah. Well, have you watched The Matrix?
A little bit.
Now go back and watch The Matrix again. Now that you know computers, watch The Matrix and watch the verbiage they use. Back doors. I don't know if you saw that second movie where they're using the door can go into this and that. Those are like back doors to programs and shit like that. And then, you know, The Matrix kind of explains a little bit of how the computer world kind of works. You know, once I started learning computer verbiage or computer language, and I started understanding, like, you know, I had a hacker that was telling me, oh yeah, everything's got a backdoor. Let me show you. This motherfucker right away could go into a backdoor on my website and this and that. And I'm like, and then he was able to retrieve files for me and get me back up and this and that. I was like, how the fuck you do that? Everything's got a backdoor, bro. And if you know how to find the backdoor, you can get into it. So, and they leave it. Most programmers and shit like that will leave a backdoor open, or a backdoor that they can get in case they get locked out or whatever. But you gotta understand your language, and you gotta understand, you know, you gotta kind of see it in your head. But it is fucking trippy. If you think like, oh no, I cannot be tracked, the best way not to be tracked is just live up in the mountains by yourself. Be a hermit, you know. The satellite will catch you once in a while out there taking a piss, or, you know, hanging up your deer, killing a rabbit and shit like that. They'll have a little bit of information about you, but they won't have your thoughts. They're not going to have what you're reading, you know. Like right now, a lot of the books are going out of, you know, more and more people are listening to digital audio books and stuff like that. There's not a lot of people that are reading books. You know, they rather listen to them and shit like that. Or they have the
Is that considered reading a book?
For some people, it's better for them. You know, I like reading a book. I like to read the book so that way it goes into my head and I can imagine. But a lot of people don't have the time to read a book. Like Joe Rogan, he says, you know, he uses an audio book while he's driving. I wish I could also have audio books so I could listen to some documentary books or some shit that I want to, like, you know what I really want to listen in audio, which is better than trying to read? The pre-Hispanic, the guys that wrote journals when they conquered Mexico. I want to read the journals. I want an audiobook to read the journals of the Spanish guys that were writing journals of the conquest and what they saw, how they saw it. When I see the books, they have such fancy writing, and then it's fucking Spanish from Spain, so their language is a little more difficult for us to read as a Mexican, you know, because it's the proper Spanish. And I'd rather listen to audio if I could get a hold of those, because I'd be driving. I want to be driving and listening to what these fuckers, so maybe I can imagine what they saw, how they saw things and shit like that. That's the best description, because the way the history of Mexico and all that shit, a lot of propaganda, a lot of bullshit, a lot of fucking fake stories. If you want to know what fake news is about, back in the day, fucking Cortez was practicing fake news. Columbus was practicing fake news. You know, all these motherfuckers were already practicing, we can say, fake news. You know, the guys that are writing the journals, I think those are kind of like the ones you want to believe sometimes the best, because they're writing every day what they see and how, they're supposed to keep journals. They were supposed to keep journals of the trip. And almost on every boat, there was a guy there writing, 3 other guys got sick, so-and-so got butt fuck in the back, we killed the other guy for doing that, we don't allow homosexuality in our boat, or this guy was caught stealing from the pantry, so we had to kill him. And I mean, there was severe fucking consequences if you fucked up on the boat.
There were severe fucking.
Yeah, that too. 'Cause they were not taking girls.
Yeah.
A lot of times they would not bring women. They consider women.
It was just
trouble,
a bunch
but
of
it's
dudes.
Isn't that a little? You do want.
They knew.
And then you wonder why they were seeing mermaids.
Nah, I think they knew.
It was pretty much a way for a bunch of gay guys to get on a boat and get away.
Yeah, it was like broke back
in the fucking ocean.
Yeah. I don't believe that shit.
Oh, they just figure, hey, when we get to the next fucking town, that's where we get the girls and this and that.
Yeah, we're gonna rape and fucking
I mean,
torture all the.
I was watching Black Cells, and on Black Cells, yeah, they show that. They show poor guy in the back getting raped and this and that, and it's like, oh, okay, And of course, I'll try to watch a tough thing, and the wife comes by. Are you watching another gay movie? No, man, come on.
Is there something you need? You want to tell me?
Every time she walks by, I was watching Narcos, and again, they have gay season Narcos, or the Mexican Narcos. I thought, okay, this is fucking killing. This is manly. I want to watch this. More than once, there was gay scenes, and my wife comes in. You're watching another gay movie?
Like, fuck. You
no, honey, that's. I guess that's part of the thing now. They want to show that there
everybody, yeah.
There was this kind of stuff going on,
and there is, yeah. There's tons of it.
Like I just watched this movie yesterday. It was Yellowstone, Murder at Yellowstone, and the plot. There's an old gay couple that they're afraid to be discovered. These 2 old gay guys, and they're. Instead of being, hey, we're looking for a murder, they were really scared that the town was going to find out that they're gay. At least that's what it seemed to me, and shit like that. Because, yeah, there was places back in the day where homosexuality was not tolerated and shit like that, So if you had the boner for a homie, you had to go keep it a secret and this and that and all that shit.
Why is that, Raph? If you go back to like history, wasn't there a bunch of homosexuality going on back like in the old days?
Well, it depends. I'm pretty sure there was periods where they would accept it. Like the Romans, they used to have orgies and shit like that.
Right.
It's what is it? Alexander was known to have guys partners and shit like that. The Spartans, a lot of times they would practice homosexuality. It's like, I'm going to protect my brother, I'm going to protect my boyfriend. So the Spartan would practice homosexuality. So it was also a way to bring military motherfuckers, even like, I'll fight for my brother, I'll fight for my... And you're not just fighting for your soldier brother, you're fighting for your lover and shit like that. So, yeah. In the History Channel... It was acceptable in this times, so there was different periods of time.
But there was rulers and like heavy duty up people that were gay.
What are you gonna do once the rulers is doing it?
Yeah, like how come it's still like frowned upon? Like somehow like.
Well, you got Christianity, you got all these motherfuckers that are against it.
That came in.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if the pagans were practicing homosexuality, or if it was something that was considered bad. Like, I looked up this documentary about this tribe in South America. That the women, they have their husbands and shit, but like once a year, they have a little situation where the wife can go and fuck around with a bunch of guys, and the guy can go and fuck around with some girls, and then come back and be together and shit like that. And it was mainly, I guess, to get their sexual frustrations and shit like that, instead of cheating or going behind their wives and shit like that. And it was just common that they would practice that, to get the sexual frustrations out of the system and stuff like that, you know. Uh, but there's a lot of religions that are super super anti-gay. Like, no, we kill you if you practice this thing. You know, we're gonna kill you. So a lot of people have to go underground and shit like that, and they have to go find a new place to where that can be accepted or that kind of behavior is accepted. Europe, you know, at one point was very open homosexuality, and then I'm pretty sure they also went against it at one point. You know, I think it's just something that goes up and down.
The timeline, yeah.
The timeline, you know, and it all depends also what part of the country or part of the world you're in. You know, in places they'll kill you as soon as they find out.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking weird. You know, but poor guys. Thank God we got Brokeback Mountain. You know, it explains the what do you call it? The romantic side of it and stuff like that. I mean, I remember long time ago, I was tattooing this guy, and I started tattooing him, and it's a portrait. It's a portrait of his lover. And his lover was probably in his 60s, and the guy's in his 20s, 30s. So there's a young guy dating an older guy. So the age difference is already something that people don't like, you know.
Yeah.
Older with young and this and that. They want you in the same age category. And this guy, you know, he was getting a portrait, and then he started telling me about how important this guy was to him and everything. So I'm like, all right, oh shit. So, okay. So now I know myself. But it was awkward when people would come in. It's like, oh, that's a portrait of your dad, huh? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's a portrait of my dad. Because he didn't want to tell him that was a portrait of his lover. You know, his lover had passed away. You know, I tattooed quite a bit of gay couples, quite a bit of lesbian couples, you know, and they kind of they would tell me their struggles or this or that. Or
I'm a ma'am.
Really? You got to bring that one up too?
Like, oh, man.
But yeah, you know, there's you know, right now in the United States it's very accepted, and people accept more lesbianism than they accept the gays, the men on men. You know.
Yeah.
You know, there's more acceptance, I think, when it comes to, you know, the gay community. They accept more of the lesbian. At least people, you know, they put lesbian scenes all over movies, and nobody has a problem with it.
Yeah, you're right.
They put a gay scene. Everybody's horrified. Like, you know, everybody was telling me about Denzel Washington getting a kiss. It's like he did nothing wrong with that movie. He did like the Italian thing. A lot of the Italians do the kiss on the cheek. Mexicans, we do the kiss on the cheek when we salute somebody over there. A female will kiss you on the cheek as a salute, and this and that. You know, if you're not used to your man getting kissed by a female or you know, like when I took Kelly down there, and Mexicans, you know, they salute and they give you a little peck on the cheek, you know, but they don't kiss you. They're like that. You do a little peck on the cheek, and especially friends, like, oh my God, they do this little kiss on one side and that's it. And in some other countries they do both sides, but to some people that's like, oh my God, he can't believe it. He got kissed by, you know. It's like, really? That's just part of how they greet. That's how they, you know. So people are just. Well, I like the fact that when I was tattooing, I was exposed to that. So I got over the taboo part or this or that. I ain't got to talk to lesbians and gays.
Yeah.
And got to understand a little bit of their point of view, this and that, you know, and understand their struggles.
Yeah, and you get to see how fucked up the world is to them.
Like at one time, I didn't know that I was tattooing. For the longest time, I was tattooing this other guy that he was gay, and I didn't know until his friend told me, it's a female girl, that she's like, you know, homie's gay, right? Like, no, I didn't. The whole time I was like, yeah, he's gay, you know. Like, oh shit, that's gotta be weird. So a lot of these guys would have to keep it on the closet and this and that, and you know, you watch The Sopranos. There's in the show The Sopranos. There's a guy in there that is gay too, and then he's afraid to get killed because as soon as the other guys find out he's gay, they want to kill him, and he was a top partner and shit like that, know. So but it all depends. It all depends what part of the world you live in. In some places it's very acceptable, and like look at Brazil. Brazil does a big old festival where the girls are fucking pretty much naked and this and that, and people are just having fun. That kind of shit doesn't happen in other countries, Mardi Gras is a fucking place for nastiness and this and that people don't even know about. Mardi Gras is like a big old fucking
fuck fest,
almost,
Yeah.
They tamed it down a lot, Burning Man, I don't know if you ever been to Burning Man.
No.
Burning Man is probably one of the most beautiful places where you gotta pay, let's say, $100,000 so you can be openly gay or whatever the fuck you want to be. If you want to stick a dildo up your ass and walk down the street, nobody will say anything. Nobody will judge you or look at you disgustingly. You pay there to go there and not be judged, and you can be around lesbians, gays. Your whole camp is different. You don't even know your buddy is into cross dressing until you go to
he comes out of the
he comes out all cross dressed, and we're like, the fuck, I didn't know this about you.
I didn't know you could wear those heels.
But this is what we have to do to get away from a city that may be oppressing you. You go there so you're not oppressed and you can have your fun. And it's full of drugs and full of trick-or-treating for drugs.
You got to go there how many times, right?
5 years, homie. 5 years.
In a row?
Yeah.
Holy shit. So every year you went.
Yeah, I really fell in love with it.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Stay with that too. Hijo de su pinche madre. Yeah, Burning Man is a big old gay festival.
Hang on.
It's a big gay festival. If you're anti-gay, you're not gonna like that place. If you have a big problem, we're back. We are back. Little commercial break. I had to answer the phone. But Burning Man. When I first time went to Burning Man, in my camp, it was a bunch of strippers and DJ guys. And then we had this old guy that was camping with us. And the best way I can kind of describe him is almost from the guy from the Silence of the Lambs. Remember the movie Silence of the Lambs? With the guy who used to play Dress Up, the killer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this guy was, and there was nothing wrong with him. It was really cool, but my wife was kind of a little trippy now, like, why is that guy coming out with different outfits every time? And he was coming out with lingerie, toot suits. This an older white guy, in his 60s, and kind of like long hair, beard. And my wife was a little freaked out, and then all the guys at the camp, they're all wearing their charons. Some of them are not even wearing anything. They're butt naked walking around the camp. And then, we're taking butt naked showers outside. You can take a shower outside. Nobody looks at you. So nudity is very acceptable. You can walk into a camp where they're actually having an orgy and shit like that. You can walk into a camp and get a blowjob by a gay person. You stick your dick into a hole and there's somebody else sucking your dick on the other side. It's called Jiffin Lube. We went to a place where it was called what was it called? Shit. Porn and Eggs was run. A camp was run by a homie that I don't know if you ever met him, but this guy was a photographer, and he used to have a thing called Porn and Eggs. So you go there and they make omelets, and then everybody's watching porn. They have a big film, and everybody's watching porn, and you can sit there and watch porn with your lady or with your man or whatever. And so I'm having a migraine at the time. And so we go to visit homie's camp. Porn and Eggs, let's go check it out. So we go. My wife doesn't even know what the fuck we're going to run into. And we're trying to get eggs, but there's a whole bunch of porn being played on big screen.
and there was a couple of girls giving blowjobs to some guys and this and that, and my wife's like, the fuck is going on over there? It's like, oh, looks like they're playing games, honey. And I come around the corner, there's a guy jerking off next to me. I'm like, hey, watch out,
Watch where you're pointing.
I don't want the cream on my fucking eggs. So my wife was like, what the fuck? And then, and we're getting our stuff. And,
Not on my pancakes, bro.
And then in the morning, we would go get coffee. And more than once, we see a guy blowing another guy just sitting there blowing
cream
another
and sugar.
And we're trying to get rid of we're live. There's a blowjob going on over there. Yeah, don't disturb them. Or maybe learn from them. I don't know.
They're waiting.
But sex is very open there. People were just openly having sex here and there and this and that. It wasn't a big frown upon. It was. Probably Burning Man is one of the most liberal fucking celebrations when it comes to the people that want to enjoy, their sexuality and not be frowned.
A good time. Holy shit.
You can be. We're sitting in the front, and then all of a sudden we see this little, we can say Vietnamese or Chinese girl. I can't tell, but she's Asian, little tiny girl, and she's cracking the whip on this guy who's all dressed up like a horse. And badass dominatrix shit, and she's in a chariot, and this guy is the horse, and he's got a butt plug as a fucking tail and shit like that, and we're like, what the fuck are we seeing, and back in the day we weren't taking pictures, but you'll see everything and anything, and it's one of the best, coolest way to get exposed to, we can say, sexuality and not really be afraid or horrified. You can either participate or just learn from it, and nobody's there is fucking angry. At least when I went, there was no anger. Everybody was happy. People would just come and hug you, trade with you. The game is to trade. You're gonna trade jewelry for drugs, jewelry for a hug. You can, we'd be walking and like, oh, I'm hungry. Look, they're making pancakes over there. We go over there. Hey, can we get pancakes? But we got. Oh, just give us a hug. That's a trade, Okay, we give them a hug and we get pancakes, and we would go, oh, look, they got beer over there. Let's go have a beer and shit like that. Everybody's looking out for everybody, and not everybody's trying to take advantage of you, They can say, what do you got to trade? I don't know. I'll give you my shirt. Okay, take off your shirt and whatever, It's one hell of a fucking interesting. We went in the end of Burning Man and the beginning of Burning Man and the middle of Burning Man. I wanted to see Burning Man from all aspects. And Burning Man is probably one of the most liberal for people that want to express their sexuality. And it's also artistic as a motherfucker. I'm surprised you haven't gone there, cabron.
Yeah, I haven't. Because I haven't had
you need to fucking figure out how to make some money or figure out if anybody can give you a ticket. If you go there, man, you're going to see the biggest fucking
I'm going for the blowjobs, right?
But yeah, you're gonna see the biggest fucking what do you call it, architect sculptures. The sculptures from all kinds, all sizes, all different things. You're gonna see some of the coolest fire displays of fireistic, like we went to check out this snake. It looked like a big old metal snake, and in the daytime it looks cool, but and at night, we went back to that snake. It was a nightclub. It's a big old fucking nightclub. Boom, boom, boom. You go back to primal time there, and everybody dresses up at night like a fucking Halloween stuff. Doing mushrooms there is probably one of the most funnest thing ever.
Yeah, that should.
I did mushrooms one day, and I was walking around, and then I see a whole procession of the Pope. These motherfuckers, they got this guy dressed up as a Pope, and he's got a whole bunch of motherfuckers dressed up like Pope, like cardinals and shit like that. And I'm watching this whole thing, I'm like, the Pope is here? What the fuck? And then out of the corner comes this guy to me that wants me to sign his porn magazine.
The Pope is here?
He thought yeah. And then a little bit later, I'm walking next to this bar where I see a bunch of pixies. These guys have feet. Not feet, like this, the bouncing fucking things, but they're dressed up like pixies. They're dressed up with wings and everything, but they're all having drinks at this bar. And they you know, with the thing that makes them look like
The
goats.
stilts.
Like,
Yeah,
the stilts. The
stilts,
bouncing
yeah.
ones. And it was so fucking cool to see all these guys bounce away like little fairies and shit like that. We're like, what? And when you're tripping on mushrooms, it's a fucking whole different thing out there, you know?
Like, I don't know. The Pope was gonna be here. Fuck. I don't think this is a place.
Oh yeah, not only was one guy dressed up, he had like fucking 25 motherfuckers around him.
Yeah.
People dressed up as nuns, this and that, but they were all playing the Pope role. I was like fucking really tripping the fuck out on that, you know? But yeah, Burning Man, I can't believe it. It's 2 hours away from here, my homie. It is one of the most coolest, gayest experience you'll ever see, you know? And if you're not into the gay things, if you are horrified by gay activity, not a place for you to go, you know? Or there's a place for you to go and understand, you know? You can actually go and
Get a better outlook on.
get a better outlook and see that, you know,
Yeah.
we come in all different colors, we come in all different sizes.
It could be your judge, your fucking,
Yeah.
your counsel.
Well, a lot of
or it
these
could
guys,
be all
that's what they
kinds
are.
of-
They're
yeah.
big old fucking family people, or they have a job that they will not even want. So they put on a mask, big old rabbit mask or whatever kind of mask, and they go out there in fucking leather straps or whatever the fuck. You know, it's very common that you see. But these are people that if they found out back in the day, or even now, if they would find out, they would be fired from their jobs.
Yeah.
So this is a place where they can go and express their fun life for a week and then come back and nobody knows who the fuck you are. And there was no cell phone, hardly any pictures being taken, so you're not being exposed and shit like that. There's a lot of photography being taken over there, artistic, but people were not trying to like, yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of this guy who works for CNBC and expose him. No, it wasn't like that. You know, there was no communication. It was also get away from the world. It was so cool to come back and what happened for the last week. You know, you don't know what's happening outside that world. You're in the fenced area. In case you do trip out on your drugs, there's a lot of ecstasy. There's a lot of mushrooms. Ecstasy is a motherfucker. And the parties go on all day, homie. All day.
They
all
don't
night.
stop, huh?
They don't stop.
I heard some guy ran into the Burning Man and fried himself.
Yeah, there's always the dumbasses that are either committing suicide. There was one guy when we went, he hung himself in a club, and they thought he was part of the decoration until somebody figured out that it was a dead body hanging. There's another guy that fell in front of this car, even though the cars are only going 50 miles, but he fell in front of the car and got ran over. So at night you gotta light yourself up because you have a bike run right into you if you're not lit up. And the Burning Man, oh dude, it is one of the coolest fucking things.
And now they probably got electric bikes.
Oh yeah, well you gotta well you
Faster.
can't go past 15.
Oh, okay.
It's past 5 miles an hour. You can't go, and you know. But there's always somebody out there who fucked up too much or this or that.
Yeah.
There's some dangerous little games that they're playing out there, and there's all kinds of shit that people can climb on, and there's always somebody falling from one of these fucking things, you know. But they make things like for you to climb on or whatever, but you can't
It's
get
at
hurt.
your own risk. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. The Burning Man experience, when you go see the man get burned, you gotta run around the whole thing, and then if you look around, there's pixies, buffaloes, all kinds of different people dressed up in different things, and they're all going around this thing. So you're in a primal, you're doing a whole fucking dance with this primal people all around this fucking Burning Man. It is one of the coolest experiences when you go back to primal. And you know, half of the people are naked, the other half are dressed up. Some of them have some badass cool effects. Dude, Burning Man, it's an experience that you'll never forget. And if you can keep going back, a lot of people keep going back. You know, I went on a plane ride. I had a guy take me on a plane ride.
Damn.
You know, and so yeah, I myself, I'm very comfortable around the gays. We can say I'm not homophobic. I don't. How can I say? No, it doesn't bother me. I'm not horrified by it. I understand it. And if you can, you should go, homie. If you get a chance to, somebody give you a ticket, or people used to sneak into that place too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they got all kinds of shit to keep an eye on people.
Yeah, you can't sneak in that easy.
No, these guys were using night vision back in the day. I had people that were telling me how they were using night vision to sneak into the Burning Man. Now it's not easy, But yeah, every Burning Man, there's always some accident when somebody dies. I think every Burning Man, you'll have somebody that has a bad situation. Like they do this thing called the Critical Tits Parade, where after you see the Critical Tits Parade, you'll never want to see tits again. And I mean, you'll see every size, every little thing bouncing up and down. 5,000, at least 5,000 and more. A big old parade of girls' chests, all girls. And they're going on this big old parade, bikes and everything. Oh, everybody's bouncing on their bikes. Hey, titties everywhere, bro. I mean, you'll get bored of titties. You'll never want to go to a titty bar again, like after you go through that. And then here comes a dust cloud, and it fucked up. Oh, suddenly you hear so many people got hurt on the fucking windstorm because you can't see, and everybody was crashing and shit like that. So titties are fucking crashing everywhere.
Yeah. Horrible titty crash.
Yeah, it was one of the coolest things. Like me and my wife just sitting steady there watching every size, everything. We're like, well, I guess this will make up for the next 5 years of titty bar for me. I don't think I ever want to go to the titty bar again.
Like,
Oh yeah, it is one of the coolest fucking things, to see.
That's cool.
You'll see some body piercings, some dick piercings that you're like, what the fuck? You'll see all kinds of dick jewelry. People, these are people that you'll never see out in the open. Showing off their jewelry and shit like that. You got people dressed up primal. We saw one guy dressed up like an Aztec there. We actually saw an Aztec there. We're like, there's a fucking Aztec here. He's in line. There was another guy all dressed up like he was from Africa, like all the tribal outfit with his family and everything, all dressed up in the. It is one of the coolest fucking things when it comes to art. You're gonna see art from the dress up part. You're gonna see art from the architectural thing. You're gonna see art from every point of view. If you can't see the art, you must be fucking stupid. Because that whole thing is a big old art museum.
Yeah.
And you're part of it. That's one place that you can get comfortable, get naked, and walk around.
Well, the generator builds a lot of this stuff, huh?
Yeah. Well, the generator is a place that they build a lot of the go-karts, a lot of the
statues.
The statues that they bring there and stuff like that. The generator, it's crazy how.
Shout out to the generator.
When they come out, the generator is one of the places that you'll see people from Belgium and this and that. They come in and start buying all their supplies and build the stuff that then they drive it out there. But a lot of it is being put together out there. They come up and they put all kinds of fucking things together. It's amazing what a bunch of drug ass motherfuckers, and they're all on drugs too. They're all tripping on acid, mushrooms, on ecstasy, and they get some shit done.
Yeah.
They get some shit done, man. They build a city out there all lit up with gas. There's no electricity. Propane and gas.
And all fucked up. All the architects are
all the
construction workers.
I mean,
everybody.
I'm pretty sure that the police, if they do drug search on cars and shit, they probably have some of the biggest drug busts when it comes to, like we busted this guy with so much ecstasy. This and that.
But they know that's where they're going, huh?
But it's still scary because you still got to travel. They got cops all around that fucking freeway, left and right, and somebody's gonna get busted. It's, they're more likely to be carrying shit like that. And
who are we gonna bust today?
Oh yeah, it is. If you guys ever go to Burning Man, or for those that got to Burning Man, leave a comment. Let me know how off I am or how close I am to the description. But that was my experience, it is the biggest art museum in the world, and it happens for 1 week. You know, and you'll never. Once you come out of there, you come back changed. You know, my wife, we changed. We my wife and I, we started going back. I thought she wasn't going to go back. I don't know. We went back 3-5 times.
Damn.
It just got too expensive for us, and then we couldn't get. We just couldn't get the time. But if you can get the money and the time, $800, whatever the tickets are costing now. Back in the day, there was $350. But you end up spending another, let's say, $2,000 on camp supplies, food, water, meat, all the stuff. You got to bring food for 1 week for yourself and then maybe some friends. And, by the time you spend on all your new supplies, and then you can just rotate them, keep using them the rest of the stuff. We went out there, we spent over at least $2,000 the first time. And then the next time we only spent like $1,000 or $800 on supplies. And we already had our tent, we already had our sleeping bags, and we had our you have to wear earmuffs in order to sleep. You can't fucking fall asleep if you don't got no, because the music is all around you.
Oh yeah, music is going all night. Yeah.
All fucking night. And then you gotta bring goggles because the sandstorms come, and it gets all into your face. So you gotta wear goggles. You got a thing, and then you got to bring, hopefully, a lot of water, because a lot of people will have heat stroke out there. You can have heat stroke. And there's people always looking out for you. If they see that you're struggling, hey, come on in, let me give you water, brother. Let me help you out, and this and that, And you're getting water and shit like that, and it's everybody's friendly. It is one of the most friendliest fucking place for me that I ever went to. More friendlier than Disneyland.
Yeah, I hear a lot of superstars go there.
Oh fuck yeah! You got
they announce them, no?
Movie stars. You got porn stars. There was a porn star that was giving lessons on how to play with dildos and stuff like that. They do seminars. They got all kinds of sex games. They got all kinds of different games and shit that they play. They got this thing called Mad Max, where they have the dome and they go against, just like the movie Mad Max. They're battling with shit like that. They're knocking each other down and shit. You're on the fucking thing, screaming and yelling. It is so primal. You almost go back to like the Road Warriors. Have you ever seen Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome? Pretty much, it's like the Road Warriors. The whole thing. They do have cars that look like Road Warrior cars and shit like that. It is one of the most amazing places in the world, and I'm glad that we have it only 2 hours away from here. Because if you're horrified by it, if you think, oh fuck no, I hate the desert, I hate the heat, and I hate all this action that's going around me, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Come back. 2 hours away. I feel sorry for the guys that come from Japan, from Ireland, from Australia, and they're stuck there. And if they never expected that, all their friends are having fun, and they're just horrified by it. I don't want to be here no more. It's hot. It's shitty. There's
no cable.
Yeah, you got to bring all your entertainment. Yeah. And back in the day, there was no cell phone service. That's which I loved. That way you're not being videotaped. So you could have your fun without somebody,
no
blasting
live
you.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Now they have live footage and shit, which just sucks. I think it's stupid, because it kind of tames it down. Once you're on camera, you're not gonna act the same.
Yeah.
But if you're not on camera, you're gonna bring out the little devil in you, and shit like that. So, for people that are into the arts, that's the place to go. For people that want a little bit of liberating from a city, or getting away from everyday life, that's the place to go. If you want to go express your sexuality, that's the place to go. And nobody frowns on you, nobody looks down on you and shit like that. It's actually, for me, it was more encouraged. I didn't see nobody like, oh my god, there's 2 gay guys over there. It was like, a little bit like, honey, what's going on over there? They're doing blowjobs. It's called a 69, honey. It's kind of like you're watching live porn, But it's, that kind of shit happened back in the day. They used to have orgies when Christmas, the pagans, it was an orgy. It was an orgy festival. Orgies used to happen a lot in Rome. They used to happen in Greece and shit like that. And then Christianity came along, and no more of this, no more of that, and religion tamed it down. But it went underground. They have all kinds of festivals. Mardi Gras is a big fuck fest too. Mardi Gras is a way to go let out your demons and shit. Just they don't show everything on TV. I saw documentaries of Mardi Gras in the 70s. It was way different than the Mardi Gras they got now. But you should go to Burning Man, homie. Then how did we get into the gay stuff?
I don't know.
We have nothing against the gays, okay?
We started talking about robots, and then it just... Oh, you think robots will ever get rights?
Robots will get rights? Fuck no, we gotta keep them as second-class citizens. They're bad enough they're gonna fuck us up. They're always gonna be stronger. They can live longer, and they can fuck us up. So no, robots should not have rights. It's bad enough that AI already has more rights than a human. That girl lost her court against a guy that copied her shit on with AI. And this AI shit copy almost everything except for added a little tiny blade on the side or whatever. But AI, was like, when this girl found out that her shit got stolen, and she was like, what the fuck? And went and fought him on court and this and that. No, the court sided on the guy. And so that was I think in Switzerland or one of those fucking countries in Europe. But it is trippy. AI is really gonna change. It might also change the attitude of how people feel about homosexuality. The world is changing. We see a lot of movies and stuff like that where they include homosexuality now, where back in the day it wasn't included. Almost every other show now that they show a little bit here and there, a little discreet or a little bit out in the open, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, as you see it more and more, you kind of tend to be okay with it.
Yeah.
If you're not seeing it, this and that, or you're not hearing about it, I think that's where it becomes, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But if you get used to it, just like everyday thing, I mean, we live in a gambling place where a lot of people don't get to gamble, and now with the computer, gambling has become worldwide. Where Reno was the place to come when it comes to gambling, and that was taboo. That was like, it is so bad that it's there's against the law in a lot of the other places. But with the internet now, gambling is worldwide or through this or that. But Vegas was born for gambling, Reno, Atlanta City, and shit like that. But not everybody allows gambling, because gambling will lead to trouble. It would also, you were helping out the underground crime and all that,
Mafias.
The mafias and shit like that, Even running the numbers. When I hear about running the numbers, that was like a local lottery, and the government wasn't cool with it, but the people were running their own little lottery. The numbers, I don't know if you ever heard that show, Running Numbers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a lottery that was happening in New York. It's an underground, lottery thing and shit like that.
Damn.
What time is it? I gotta go pick up my kid at 2:00, 2:30. So I think we should call it soon. Well, we cover a little bit of AI, and then we went into Burning Man, and we talked a little bit of how Ralph is not afraid of the gays. I never have been. I have quite a bit of family members that are gay, and it's like, oh well, you deal with it. You never. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for those who out there who are homophobic in a bad way or whatever. It's like, just get over it. Or use the remote and speed up that area right there if it really bothers you. All right, Vaca. Anything else you want to say to the public before we go?
No, that's it, sir. Classes Saturday. This Saturday coming up. It's gonna be 5:00 this Saturday.
Oh yeah, at 5:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
on Saturdays.
On Saturday. At the generator. Graffiti classes.
Let's see if anybody signs up. Last time it was short notice, but we're gonna keep announcing the graffiti classes at the generator, and everybody and anybody's welcome. Like we said, we're not saying only this guy or that guy or this girl or that girl. Everybody's welcome. If you got hands and you can do the spray can, you're welcome. Even if you have it'd be kind of cool if we also have handicapped guys, in a chair or whatever, come and participate. So we don't discriminate with anybody.
Yep. Classes are $70, and you get 3 cans and a little canvas. I was thinking we should put a little canvas on the wall and let them paint over it, and let them, whatever ends up on the canvas, they get to take it.
You want to give them a canvas?
Yeah, I got a bunch of little canvases.
Okay, that'd be cool. I was just saying, let them tag the wall, tag the walls. But
they will.
Yeah.
They're gonna tag the wall and put the canvas.
Somebody can do a little canvas if they want to take it.
So they'll hang the canvas on the wall that they're gonna paint, and whatever lands on the canvas, they'll get to take.
They can take it home for
whatever
memory.
Fuck ups they do on the wall is just.
Well, now I know. I didn't know about this one, but we found out that there's gonna be canvas involved in case somebody wants to take a little souvenir home.
Yep, and $50 if you bring your own paint.
Oh, you also want to do that? So if you want to bring your own paint, if you don't want to buy the paint, it's $50. Did you create a product yet, or you just gonna something they can pay there?
I don't know. I don't remember.
We could create a variant where it says $50 and put on there, let people know $50 means you don't get the paint.
Yep. On the website.
Look up Graffiti City NV. Look up all the details on the graffiti classes. And I do still need to make some sales on my tattoo chairs. So look up stingraytattoo.net. I said tattoo chairs, tattoo tables, and a little bit of tattoo supplies here and there. But mainly I sell the tattoo chairs and tattoo tabourets. So look up stingraytattoo.net. You guys have a nice day.